Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Tobey's Talk Show. This is episode number 56, and today I am bringing you a breaking news episode. As you guys have probably all seen, Russell Westbrook was just traded for John Wall. I have the full trade details right here. So, Russell Westbrook was traded to the Wizards, and the Rockets received John Wall and a 2023 protected first round pick. So, basically, just literally a swap for point guards. I want to go into it looking at both sides, giving my analysis on the trade. And so I'll start with, John Wall as a player. So John Wall, and I guess comparing him to Russell Westbrook. So John Wall, the last time we saw him was in 2018. He got hurt. I think it was his knee or leg. And then I remember he slipped in the bathroom, I think, and tore his ACL. So just like what happened to Clay, I don't think it was two ACLs for Wall. I may be incorrect, but it was like back-to-back long injuries. And the last time we saw him was in 2018. He averaged 20 points. His three-point percent was very down. It was at 30%, I believe, around there. And, he was still a great facilitator. He always, found the right guys. And he averaged 8 assists, I think maybe even 9, the last 2 seasons he played. So he's a great facilitator. He's obviously has his burst. We don't know if that's there still. But the last time we saw him, he was still quick. He's a really good defender. I wouldn't say really good. Maybe you have like standard defense, like doesn't hurt you, doesn't help you, and then you have like good defense and really good defense. I'd probably say he's a good defender. And I think John Wall was a good player, but the real issue is, and I think he was an all-star back then, and he probably still would be if he was playing, if he didn't get hurt these past 2 seasons. But the thing I find interesting is we don't know what he looks like, and just like with Clay, we're a little worried because he's not gonna play for 2 straight seasons. The same thing has happened with John Wall, and maybe he loses his burst that he's always good at. Maybe his defense gets a little worse, but from when we saw him last, he was still a very good point guard. He needed to improve his 3-point shooting. That was his big issue, especially with the new NBA, modern NBA era. But he was an all-star point guard, and with Russ, we know, Russ is someone that gets the stats, but it looks, I guess, prettier on the stat sheet than it does in the game. He doesn't have that much of a shot. I mean, last season, he had a span of 2 months where he was one of the best players in the league. But besides that, he was really, wasn't even really an all-star type player at points in the season. And in the playoffs, he didn't step up like he needed to if the Rockets were going to win. He disappointed, some could say. And so the one thing I don't understand from the Rockets' point of view is you're getting a pick, but it's protected. So, if you get it, it's going to be 20, 25, 30. So it's not the greatest pick in the world. If you're basically doing a John Wall for Russell Westbrook swap, I don't understand what you're accomplishing there. If you're going to try to rebuild correctly and get rid of Russ, but get pieces back. And I know his trade value is really low, but having John Wall on the team really doesn't do anything for you unless you think that John Wall could be back to where he was. And, there have been reports that people have said that we're not really sure. From my point of view, I think Russ could be a good player, and that's going to be very interesting with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is a lot better of a shooter, so maybe that could help Russ a little bit. It didn't really help Russ, actually, with James Harden, who's a very good shooter. So I'm not really sure, but maybe Russ could revive himself in Washington. They're not going to be a championship contender down there. You could predict them to maybe now slide to 8th or 7th. I think, right now Westbrook's better than Wall just because Westbrook wasn't also this year. Wall has been injured the past 2 seasons. It's, kind of obvious. But I think they're both very competent point guards. For the Wizards, I like it. It gives them a new point guard. Bradley Beal wants another star, and Russell Westbrook is a star. You hate him or not, he is a star point guard in the league. He may not play well some games, but he helps the team more than he hurts the team. Maybe in the playoffs it's a little bit of a different story, but in the regular season, he's a fine player. I mean, him and James Harden were the 4th seed this year, so it was good. The East, even though it's weak, the Wizards are not that good of a team. James Harden, Bradley Beal's not James Harden, even though I like Bradley Beal a lot. And yeah, I think I can see the Wizards as 8th, 7th seed now. And from the Rockets' point of view, I guess they're going to try to switch it up again, give James Harden a third different point guard to try to make it deep in the playoffs / win a championship with. I don't think it's enough, really. I like Daniel House a lot. I really like Christian Wood. I think he's a great player, and I think he could be that third star. And I just hope the supporting cast. If they need to clear up the Robert Covington money for Christian Wood, that makes sense. But I feel like they maybe could have looked around that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm incorrect. But I wish they kept Covington because that team with Covington could be really, really good. I'm going to be interested to see, just if John Wall returns back to his old self, maybe the Rockets could make another push at try. They're getting at a point where James Harden's only getting older, and if it looks like you're not going to be able to do it, they've been there very close multiple seasons, the past 5, 6 seasons. They've been in the playoffs. They just haven't been able to get to that finals level yet. And, maybe they're going to try one or two more times, then just give up and rebuild. Maybe try to get James Harden traded last year of his contract, figure it out. But, yeah, maybe the Rockets are trying to run it back. And for the Wizards' point of view, I think it makes them better, and they want to keep Bradley Beal. Obviously, they just signed him to a big contract, but they want to satisfy him, obviously, continuously. So, yeah, that's my quick rundown. I don't think it's a bad trade for either team. They're kind of, I think Russell Westbrook's a bit better, but it's not like where the Wizards are going to drastically change now. So even though it's two players moving, it's going to be very interesting to follow these teams, see what happens. But I don't know if it's going to do a lot in the standings point of view or change, who's going to make the finals or whatnot. So yeah, that's my quick recap. I didn't want to make this video too long, just quick analysis. And let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Were you expecting him to get traded to the Wizards? I was a little shocked. I didn't know where he was going to go. I felt like he had to be traded. And yeah, it's a big, big shock. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you in episode number 57. Bye, guys.